What's up, everybody? Before I start this video, I want to read you two messages that I received, and then I'll dive into a backstory. But sit down, relax, get you a cup of tea. This is going to be an interesting video, but I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, or it's going to open your eyes to some things that are going on at a prestigious institution known as Sewickley Academy, which was my alma mater. Now, if you saw my last video, I didn't put a title on it, but what I should have titled is "Controversy Has Unfolded at Sewickley." And like I said, I'm gonna get back to the backstory, but I want to read these two messages to you, and this is a great way to start this video. So the first message comes from a high school student that saw my video that I did before. This individual is a student at Sewickley Academy. I took some things out of the email because I wanted to, in respect for their privacy, keep some things to a secret. But the message started out, says, "Hi, Mr. Neesmith. I am a current senior at Sewickley Academy. I just watched your video from July, and I truly wish I had seen it sooner. It gave me a lot of hope as a current member of this community to know that there are people who feel the same way I do. The administration has been actively trying to censor us. I don't know what the school was like when you were here, or if this was going on when you were around, but we have an opinion wall, and when a group of 4 students posted something they didn't like, they were immediately called into a meeting where they were verbally harassed by the assistant head of school. I'm not going to say his name. 4 students of color were told they were arrogant and irresponsible because of their opinion. There's a clear rift between the student body at this point. You either support the administration or you don't. And tensions are thick, which is one of the reasons this sucks the most, because the last thing we wanted is to divide the student population. But I think they're looking for someone to blame for losing their teachers, and we were the easiest. It's very tense here. We had meetings with Dr. Britwell that were anxiety-ridden and accomplished virtually nothing. The climate here speaks more than words could honestly say." That is from a high school student that saw my email about what happened at Sewickley Academy. But there's more. Another message was sent to me recently from an alum of Sewickley. This message says, "Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much for sharing your experience at Sewickley Academy and bringing this conversation forward earlier in the school year. I've recently been in contact with a student group on the ground, Sewickley Cares, that is fighting all these moves by the school board to push back any positive movements toward improving equity at the school. The school and the conservatives leading it are really doing their best to silence this movement. And I want to see what we as alum can do to amplify the message and assist them in pushing forward." So, you don't know, I'm an alum of Sewickley Academy. Sewickley Academy is a private school in about about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh. And Sewickley Academy is, how should I say, they are, in their own minds, this assumption that it is this prestige, it is this very proud, very progressive private school, and they're the farthest thing from the truth. And from my last video until now, I kind of just I stepped back and I just sort of wanted to see what was going on. And I have notes. Because I wanted to make sure when I did this video, I have notes for you guys, because I want to catch you up on everything, just to make sure I don't cover or miss anything that I want to cover. I want to make sure that I hit every single thing that's happened, just to give you some backstory. And then I'm gonna dive in and give you my opinion and my frustration and my anger on this situation. So on, let me see, where do we start? We're starting back in April 5th of last year. The former head of school at Sewickley was pushing out the DEISJ plan, which is called Envision 2024. So Sewickley had sent emails and I think hard copies to every family in Sewickley about the plan. So June 1st, 2021, an organization called the Sewickley Parents Organization felt threatened by these plans. They seized the plans as being a pro-Black agenda and thinks that critical race theory is going to be infused into the curriculum. Yeah. So they wrote letters to members of the community and the school administration requesting their support in having schools to denounce their support of the DEISJ plan. So these individuals wanted to denounce the infusion of a new diversity, equity, and inclusion and social justice plan. This is the Sewickley Academy that is also progressive in their community, but it's a bunch of bullshit. Let me move forward. I apologize. So Rob Frazzini, I think I got his name right. Frazzini says, and this is, I quote, "This is not about race. We are fully embracing diversity in our school. We want to focus on fundamentals of education." See, Rob, I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume, but I will, that you're a white man. And any person that's not living under a rock that is white knows that it's not race that affects you. So it's you will not be worried about race. It's not an issue. But see, Rob, I'm a black man, and race is always going to be an issue, and forever it's going to be an issue. So I'm always going to be concerned. And anybody else, whether you're white or black, that has a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of sense that race is a problem in many situations, especially in whitewashed Sewickley Academy. But let me continue because there's so much more. So June 25th, 2021, laundry list of terminations: head of school, head of lower school, director of diversity, equity, and inclusion and social justice and service learning, head of senior school, director of admissions and financial aid, director of teaching and learning, and a 5th grade teacher. All these people were advocates of the diversity, equity, and inclusion plan in Vision 2024. Interesting. So Dr. Birtwell, who is someone I went to school with, who was a few years behind me at Sewickley, was then appointed, because she was a member of the board, was appointed as the interim head of school. Now, what the board did announce is they were going to intend to do and initiate a national search, because they wanted to find someone to step in and right the ship. They wanted to fix these problems. Okay. So on July 2nd, a group of concerned parents sends a letter to the board of directors, and they await a scheduled meeting to discuss the termination of all these people. I don't need to go over the list again, but all those people that were terminated. You know what? I will. I'm going to tell you. Head of school, head of lower school, director of diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice, head of the senior school, director of admissions and financial aid, director of teaching and learning, and a 5th grade teacher. All let go. I wonder why. Oh no, they said it because it was enrollment was down, attendance was low. Yes, that's definitely the reason why. It just ties in together, you know. But anyways, moving forward. So let's see. On July 12th, the group of concerned parents receives emails from the board agreeing to meet on July 30th. The board of directors, July 20th, the board of directors sends an email announcing that they no longer will conduct that search. So this is just literally what, from June 25th, a month later to July 20th, that they're stopping the search. There's no need to search. There's no need to find somebody, because we're gonna put someone in there that is our puppet, someone that is part of the good old boys club, right? So who do you think they put in there? Let's think about that. You guys already know the answer to that. It was Dr. Ashley Birtwell. Why not? Why not put the person who is supportive of what the board wants into that position? Because they don't have to argue with someone. They don't have to bring someone in that's going to bring new ideas and fresh ideas and someone that's going to want to mix things up. No, let's put someone in that's going to be a yes man, or yes woman in this case, and follow right in suit. So, all right, moving on. July 22nd, the new school administration puts out an email announcing the appointment of Ken Gillespie as the assistant head of school. Now, I knew Mr. Gillespie when I was in school, and no personal attack against him. I thought he was a nice guy. Some of the way he's moved recently and some of the things you're going to hear about what happened, I did not agree with. But like I said, it's not a personal attack on him. I just think that he got sucked into a situation, and you'll see eventually he had to back himself out of. But let me move forward. On February 17th, the Black Student Mentoring Group, Fund for Advancement of Minorities Through Education, also known as FAME, that aims to provide black students access to private schools around the greater Pittsburgh area ends their partnership with Sewickley Academy. I wonder why. Wow. Yeah, wow. I mean, whew, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. My goodness. So, but listen, February 22nd, I'm sure everybody who's in the Sewickley Academy alum got this message, right? They announced that they received the largest single gift in the school's 184-year history. That's important. That is so important that you tell everybody that you received the largest gift in school history. But what you won't do is you won't denounce or explain or just, educate us on why the decisions were made to fire these staff, and that you do plan on carrying on in Vision 2024, name it whatever you want. But the fact that no one from the board or Dr. Burtwell came forward and said, regardless of the firings, because we weren't there, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. But even if all those people were fired, I think DEISJ is still important. And you know what? If you want to increase enrollment, you might want to say we want to continue pushing forward this plan. And whoever we bring in to replace the 6 people we fired, and Dr. Britwell is going to push this plan forward, because diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice is important to Sewickley Academy. You would think that, but that's definitely not the case. So on March 3rd, students were called into a full senior high meeting Thursday to address a petition addressing DEI. Before the meeting was over, Dr. Burtwell left the meeting. Then the students went to take the petition to Dr. Burtwell, but she was unavailable. So her assistant head of schools, Ken Gillespie, confronts the group, right? So this is funny. So you got to listen to this. And I say it's funny because it's really not. It's actually pathetic and sad that it had to get to this point. At Sewickley Academy, listen. The police were called. The police at Sewickley Academy, the police were called because these students were confronted by Mr. Gillespie. I guess they must have been a danger to the campus to have the police called, which is, it must have been a situation. Even worse, on the spot, a teacher was fired because she wouldn't leave the office because she was confronting a student. She was consoling a student. A teacher was fired for not leaving the office because she was consoling a student. If that's not some bullshit, I don't know what is. But this whole thing what Sewickley's got going on is BS from top to bottom. And no, I'm not gonna, last time I said I wasn't gonna swear, but I don't care. Because what I say, the beauty of this is, anything I say, it can't affect me. See, my kids will never go to Sewickley Academy. And I'm sort of jumping off plan real quick, but it's funny, there were some people that tried to get me to come back to work there. That is one of the greatest decisions I ever made in my life, to never go back to my alma mater and work there, because I couldn't imagine having explained to my family and friends how I could be part of this racist ideals and this racist philosophy that they claim does not exist. They claim it doesn't exist. So what is this if it doesn't exist? Please tell me, what is all this if it doesn't exist? But let me bring it back down. So on March 4th, 50 students and parents protested outside Sewickley Academy, saying students of color haven't felt safe at the school. Let me say this one more time. 50 students and parents protested outside Sewickley Academy, saying students of color haven't felt safe at the school. But I go back to what my guy, Rob Frazzini said, this is not about race, and we fully embrace diversity in our school. See, that's the problem. The problem is people that don't understand think it's not about race because it doesn't affect you. But if they're saying that the black students in that building do not feel included, do not feel heard, do not feel safe, it's about race. It's about race. Stop saying that, because that's ridiculous. It is about race. Now, for everybody that is not a minority, for every white alum, for every white staff, for every white member of the community, I beg of you to not sit here in silence, because if you do, you are part of the problem. So all those parents, all those people that have spoken up, that have said something, I commend you and I thank you and I appreciate it. But see, the thing is, we can't allow this to just be heard for a very short period of time, because everything that's going on for this past year at my alma mater is bullshit. And we can't let this go on. We cannot let this situation just be pushed under the rug. Well, we can talk about the largest donation in school. All right. What the hell about the problem with the minorities in the building? What's more important? You want to talk about the $1 million donation, or the fact that the minority students, the black students in the building, don't feel included, don't feel safe, and don't feel that their voice can be heard? So the last thing, March 7th, the Sewickley Academy assistant head resigns. 4 other faculty, staff members gone. You know, when I got the message from the student, now mind you, I'm just so pissed off. I'm sorry, I'm a loss for words. But when the student reached out to me, and this is a white student that reached out to me, and I read that message, I was so pissed off and so disgusted with the way things at Sewickley Academy are going. And I get it. I get the foundation that Sewickley was built on. And it can be sugarcoated all you want. But let's be real. The foundation of Sewickley Academy was built on white Republican ideals. And if you want to challenge me on that, I would love you. Please, I would love you to challenge me on that. It was built on that foundation. And that's fine. I'm not upset about that. But as time has gone on, as the population of the school has changed, as the world has changed around us, the goal for because I've been a teacher for 17 years, so don't come at me with any bullshit about things don't change. I know more than anybody else. I've taught in predominantly black schools. I've taught in white schools. I've taught in alternative schools. It's about the kids, man. It's about the kids. And the thing is, if we don't empower them, if we don't make their voices feel heard, because now more than ever, kids feel and have this desire and they want to be able to speak their truth. They want to be able to speak their truth. But the thing is, why are we shutting that down? Why are we not hearing what they have to say, taking that information, working with those students to make that environment better? You say enrollment is down at Sewickley, right? It's down at Shadyside. I'm sure it's down in Winchester, Thurston. I'm sure it's down at the Ellis School. But I guarantee they don't have those problems. They don't have those concerns. And Sewickley says they want to be this progressive place. Well, if you want to change your enrollment, if you want to change the image, this needs to be fixed. Voices must be heard, because clearly from Dr. Burtwell and the board, their mindset is one way. Their mindset is keeping Sewickley and the rest of the good old boy network. That mentality, that philosophy is keeping that the way it is. They don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. Because I tell you what, when I was there and we had Ham Clark was our head of school. Love Ham Clark. I don't know if he's going to see this video, but I loved Ham Clark. Everything he did, because we didn't have a huge, the diversity in the student body wasn't large. And the diversity when the staff was pretty solid. But man, the vibe was different. We put on a Harlem Renaissance play. We had students from Aliquippa, Ambridge, Northside. The feel in the building was different. A lot of love, a lot of fun. And I hear this from students that the way it is now, yo, that's embarrassing. That's crazy. It blows my mind. And I feel sorry for any teacher in that building that feels the way I do, because I know you're stuck. I know you're stuck in a situation because you see these 6 people that got fired previously. You've seen some teachers leave, so you're probably scared to speak up and say something. I get that. I get that. And I feel for you that you're stuck in a situation. But my challenge is to these students and the parents of students that are supporting of this. Man, make your voices heard. Speak up, and don't speak up just once. Continue to speak up. Continue to talk. Continue to push this narrative that whatever's going on there has got to change. Alumni, community members that support what I'm saying and what those parents are saying, that supported those students, that wrote that letter to Dr. Birtwell. Speak up. Say something. Don't sit there in silence, because you are just as much a part of the problem. I really hope that moving forward, some things change, because like I said, my ties with Sewickley, and don't get me wrong, there's some really amazing people that still work there that I have a lot of love and respect for. But the academy as a whole, I want nothing to do with it. My affiliation was, as a former basketball player, was to support the basketball program. But I want nothing to do with Sewickley Academy. I would never promote Sewickley Academy. I would never encourage a minority, a white, doesn't matter, a student family to go to Sewickley Academy. I would tell you to send your child to anywhere else. Central Catholic, Ellis, Winchester Thurston, Shadyside. I have nothing positive to say about Sewickley Academy. And another thing that pissed me off was, I know that people at Sewickley, I'm sure that video of what I had before was passed on, and I'm sure they saw it. And what blows my mind is that no one from the academy, because if you can send me letters about donating money to the school, I'm sure someone saw that video and they think, man, maybe we want to reach out to him to have a conversation. Because I tell you who did reach out to me. And it's lucky that I wasn't back home in Pittsburgh. I already came back to Maryland because I just left that weekend when it happened. I got contacted by both news stations, 2, WTA and KDKA. I got contacted by 2 newspaper reporters, but no one from the academy. No one had thought for a second, hey, maybe we might try to talk to him. Maybe we'll try to hear his point of view. I have no power. I understand that. But this whole situation is so infuriating. It's so disappointing. And I feel for the students. I feel for the teachers. I feel for the community. And it's disgusting. But something has to change. Something has to give. Because this is an embarrassment. This is a black cloud over that school. Regardless if you support this as an alum or not, this is a black cloud, a black stain that has been there and is going to continue to stay there unless some things change. You know, I really hope that the voices that are heard and the people that speak up in the masses can make some change. And I believe that it will. I'm hopeful that it will. And like I said, I challenge everyone that supports what I'm saying and supports what those students and those families, and the fact that the importance of pushing that diversity, equity, inclusion to the school system or to Sewickley is so important. And again, let me say this for anybody else that's confused. DEISJ is not critical race theory. Take that dumbass idea and throw it out the window. It's not critical race theory. If you need to do your research, do your research. DEISJ is not critical race theory. All DEISJ does is include everybody on a more well-rounded teaching, a more well-rounded education about everything. It's not critical race theory. But I'm gonna finish this video and say that I challenge, again, I've said this will be the third or fourth time I said this, but I truly challenge everybody that's in support of this to speak up, not to let this go, because it's the kids that are going to suffer. It's the legacy of Sewickley that's going to suffer, because no matter if you believe that Sewickley should stay whitewashed, as the times are changing and Sewickley's not, it's going to suffer. And I hate to see the school that I once loved be in this position. Things have got to change. Do better, Sewickley. Do better.